Hello, everyone. This is Jasper, and welcome back to another episode of the Newton Public Schools Alumni Association podcast series. And today we have another guest joining us. Today we have Kyla here. So, Kyla, welcome. Would you mind sharing a bit about yourself, like when you graduated Newton South, as well as what you're doing now?
Yes, of course. So, hi everyone. My name is Kyla Kouadio. I graduated in 2011, and right now I am working as a project manager in Virginia Beach. A few things about myself. I went to Prairie View A&M University. I graduated in 2017, and I have traveled so much since then. So, I have a lot of fun stories to tell whenever the time is necessary.
Wow, that's fantastic. So, you stated that you're a project manager. So, I guess what kind of projects do you manage?
Yeah, so the company that I work for specializes in research and development as well as biological sciences. So we do a lot of products that surgeons and different healthcare workers use in different surgeries to help patient care.
I see. So, you guys kind of like design equipment for hospitals and these type of medical facilities to use. Is that right?
Yeah, different medical devices, absolutely.
Amazing. So I guess what type of skill sets does your job require? Is it like kind of just management skills, or do you kind of need also like on the deck skills of actually understanding how these equipments are built?
Yeah, so I actually studied chemical engineering. So you need to have a good technical aptitude to be able to communicate with the engineers and the scientists, but also to be able to identify different problems ahead of time. I do use a lot of management skills. I don't have direct reports, but I do interact a lot with the different project team members. Um, any kind of problem solving skills are always important. Um, and also, I would say uh, a lot of soft skills because you have to talk to a lot of different people very regularly.
Right.
There are a lot of meetings and a lot of paperwork. So you want to make sure that you're comfortable with that.
I see. That sounds good. So I guess you're going to need a lot of actual technical expertise of the equipment as well as soft skills in terms of interacting with other people. So I guess you spent some time at South before you graduated and went on to do chemical engineering at college. So I guess you've also taken some courses at South. Do you think South kind of helped to prepare you either in terms of helping you learn soft skills in terms of interacting with group mates, or maybe just helping you learn hard skills like directly feeding your chemistry knowledge?
Yes. So I took a biotechnology course at
Oh,
South and a lot of different maths courses that definitely prepared me for the engineering classes that I had in college. And also for like the soft skills, I took global for both history and
I see.
English. So there were a lot of like real world discussions that we would have like in class that really helped me be able to communicate with a lot of different people. Because once you leave from South, you're gonna go to wherever you choose to go. But I
Right.
chose to go to college, right? And so there were a lot of different people from different places, countries, states, and cities and stuff like that. So I needed to be able to understand different socioeconomic backgrounds too. So
I
yeah.
see. Fascinating. So, you've talked about, biotechnology classes as well as literature and English classes. So, is there any one class or maybe one teacher or even one or two teachers that you feel maybe had the largest impact or you feel is the most memorable in your mind?
Yes. I quote Miss McCormick all the time. She was my English teacher, I think my junior year at South. I'm not sure if she's still there, but every time that the bell would ring at the end of class and it would be time to transition to the next course, she would always say, be safe, be smart, don't do dumb things. So
Wow.
I have lived with that ever since then. I tell all my friends about it. I talk to people at work and I tell them the same thing because as funny as it can be coming from your teacher, it also is like real important to understand, like just in
Right.
day to day life. Like you do want to be safe, you want to be smart, make good decisions. So that she's definitely one of my favorite
It sounds
teachers that
so
I had back
simple,
then.
yet, it's so important for you.
Yeah. Definitely.
I see. All right. So I guess, transitioning from high school to college, you did chemical engineering in college, and that obviously, did a lot of heavy lifting in terms of what you know nowadays. So, maybe what are one or maybe two things that you did in college that you feel maybe helped you advance your career path in being a project management at maybe a chemical engineering firm the best?
Yeah. I would say the main thing that has helped me from my college journey to getting to where I am today, and something that I would recommend to other people, but learn how to take efficient notes and understand that it's okay to not know the answer as long as you're okay with seeking the correct information when you need it. It's very important to ask a lot of questions so that you can have a little bit better background. One of my first supervisors that I had when I was an engineer taught me to be comfortable asking difficult questions, because if you can't communicate back what the problem actually is to someone else who's not directly involved, then you don't really understand the subject that well. So
Mm-hmm.
it's okay to ask questions in classes. It's okay to ask your teachers, your different professors, and different classmates questions, because that is what's going to help you understand it. Also, when you are asked those same questions back, you have to be able to communicate it back to the next person. So practice
Okay.
that back and forth with someone that you trust so that you understand, okay, maybe I didn't understand this part that well. So I should go and do whatever, digging I need to do to understand it better.
I see. That's fascinating. So I guess it's kind of just, never being afraid to look for anyone and seek help and all that. So I guess, aside from courses, a lot of the things that people are worrying about when it comes to college is kind of, aside from juggling all these different courses every semester, there's also all the clubs that I need to take part in. There are all of these different scholarships and internships that I got to apply for all the time. So, were you engaged in that in your college time? And if so, how helpful do you think all that was?
Yes. So actually it started when I was at South.
Oh,
I joined the symphonic band. I played flute during my time there. And that gave me the footing that I needed to join the marching band at my university. And so I ended up having a music scholarship. So I was able to
wow.
study and get my tuition significantly reduced, which is very important. I know a lot of folks are concerned about student loans. We
Yes, all
don't
the
want
time
that. So we
now.
want to get as many scholarships as we can. But also, another thing that I started when I was at South, there was a rugby team when I was a senior, and I played rugby my senior year. And even though I didn't play in college, I know a lot of people who had rugby scholarships and were able to travel the world, honestly. And some even have gotten to the
Amazing.
Olympic level. So that's really important, making sure that you're trying different things, and you might find your footing in something that you really enjoy. You can probably find a scholarship that is very closely tied to that same hobby or
Right,
skill.
yeah.
So that's very important. I actually still play rugby to this day. So I definitely suggest looking into different things that you wouldn't normally try.
I see. That's amazing. So I guess, after college, you've done all these things, you've gotten your amazing degree in chemical engineering that I guess, helped you so much in your job now. So, as you've mentioned before, there were a lot of interesting experiences you've had at your job. So, I guess, would you be all right with sharing a few of them that you feel maybe would be fascinating to listen to?
Oh, yeah. So I actually just left a lecture. A lot of the time, my job, we will host different surgeons to come and give presentations
I
about
see.
some of the products that we provide that they also use. And so, literally, I just left one right now. And the surgeon is one of the head surgeons at Duke University, and he was able to explain the subject matter very well. Obviously, I'm not a surgeon, so I would not know the correct terminology that they use and that they train them in from medical school onward, right? But he was able to break down what the patients needed and show how he uses our products to solve those issues. So he actually is a podiatric surgeon. So he does podiatry for, if people aren't familiar, that's foot doctors. So he explained how different wounds um, materialize in the body and why someone who otherwise could have been very healthy, like if their health deteriorates, how that can impact their healing journey. And so he was able to explain how our products are used in surgery and after surgery and while and
I
how they
see.
recover for the patient.
Wow, that's amazing. So I guess you guys also kind of get feedback from the people who have used your product, and based on that feedback, as the project manager, you kind of, incorporate it into, how the team could maybe improve stuff. Is that the case?
Yeah. So part of our process, we want to make sure that we do enough research ahead of time. So we will interact very regularly with different surgeons, different healthcare teams to understand what type of surgeries they perform and how a product could improve that surgery and that healing for the patient. And so we do a lot of prototyping in the early stages and
I
have those
see.
surgeons give feedback so we understand where to go, where the next step should be, for identifying what the user is needing. So for what the surgeon needs for what the patient is going to need to recover from, right? So we have that back and forth very early and come up with different designs and see what works best. And so from that point, we're able to really streamline our process to get from the just what the prototype could be to getting it to be something that can be produced at mass, right? So
Mm-hmm.
we want to have a good process that we can transfer to our manufacturing team so that they can create it at a larger scale, much easier, much faster than, in our research, right?
I
So
see.
that's
Yeah.
essentially why we need to have these regular discussions with surgeons so that we can have that feedback and always improve our products going forward.
I see. That's amazing. So it's kind of like a constant cycle of, getting feedback, improving, and then producing more, and then
Mm-hmm.
getting more feedback. So I guess, there are a
Yeah.
lot of students here at South who maybe want to go into engineering and hope to get on a similar career path as you, either, producing equipment for either be it the medical sector or maybe some other sector, like maybe the industrial sector. So maybe what is maybe one value or mindset that you feel that students, who kind of want to go into this track should, take with them and keep in mind that you think maybe has brought you so far in life in terms of this career, and maybe will also bring a lot more students this far?
Yeah, absolutely. I was actually talking to my mom about this the other day. Some things that I wish I would have known back when I was a senior at South, or even when I was a fresh college graduate looking for different opportunities, right? You don't want to pigeonhole yourself and say that, oh, I'm only interested in this one thing, because you can learn from so many different industries. And that's actually how I was able to get to where I am right now, because I studied chemical engineering and I worked in construction after that. So you don't have to say, oh, well, I'm only going to stick to the oil and gas field because I went to school in
Mm-hmm.
Texas and that's the typical route for an engineer. They will go to oil and gas. But you don't have to do that. You can try other options. Some people use their degrees just to get into the habit of understanding a lot of different information and being able to communicate that. So some people might choose, hey, I want to be able to teach other people this same information. So maybe they want to be a teacher or a professor. Maybe they want to go and get their PhD. And all of that is very helpful because it creates the next level of students, the next level of professionals in the industries. Um, so there are a ton of pathways you can take, but don't be afraid to stray away from the path that you've decided in your head is going to be the best one for you, because you never know. It was very interesting. I even tried being an analyst for a while, right? And my one of my bosses, he also studied chemical engineering. And this is for a financial services company. So, there's so many ways you can go.
Interesting. Yeah.
You can take your degree and your skills and your experience and look at what interests you in different areas and really see how you can grow in those different ways.
I see. That's very insightful information. It's kind of just, never, I guess, fixate yourself on a set path because you never know where life will take you, I guess. And, if you really
Mhm.
are passionate in something, make sure to, go all in on it. But at the same time, don't like try to, I guess, think that, oh, it's the end of the world if I can't finish my job in this particular sector. So I guess I hope
Exactly.
everyone listening today has learned something from Kyla. I personally have learned a lot, and hopefully, I guess what I want to do later in life will also not be impacted too much by my drive right now, but I'll also be extremely passionate about pursuing it as much as I can. So, thank you once again to Kyla for joining us today, and thank you all the people here who are listening, and I hope you all have a fantastic day, and I will see you all next time.